Japan.
Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Mai Denizu.
I'm Yasu Ota.
Every week, we bring you the freshest information out of Japan from a studio here in Tokyo. From the economy to culture and even food, if you want to know what's happening in Japan, this is where you find it. First up is Executive Insight, in which we feature the heads of some Japan's leading companies. So Ota-san, tell us about it.
Today, we will be introducing you to Japanese managers of multinational businesses.
Yes.
This October, the Nikkei Global Management Forum was held in Tokyo. It's an annual event in which executives from around the world meet to discuss corporate strategy and management trends.
So Ota-san, I heard you were able to actually speak with some of the leaders.
Yes, I was fortunate to speak with some of the most respected corporate leaders in the world.
I see. Well, let's take a look.
Executive Insight. This October, the Global Management Forum was held for 2 days in Tokyo. In attendance were some of the world's top business leaders. This is Bob McDonald. He's the head of Procter & Gamble, the biggest consumer goods maker in the world.
In addition to that, we're focused on improving our innovation.
And this is Kan Trakunhun. He runs Thailand's Siam Cement, a cement, petrochemical, and construction materials conglomerate.
Your past success, of course, we cannot guarantee your future.
And from Japan, Kazuo Inamori. He was appointed chairman of Japan Airlines following its bankruptcy and within 2 years turned around the business.
何が何でもという強い意志力、そういうものがやっぱりリーダーにはいると。
Another well-known executive, Carlos Ghosn, the CEO of Nissan Motor. He succeeded in rebuilding the struggling company.
Because innovation is very hard. Innovation doesn't come easy. You're going to have to fight 1,000 battles.
Among these corporate titans is one man who has kept his eye on the global market.
To welcome on stage Mr. Arakawa, chairman of Bridgestone. Please give him a big hand.
Shoshi Arakawa. He oversees the world's top tire maker.
As a top manager, you have to face challenges head-on.
Bridgestone boasts annual sales of over $30 billion, with customers in over 150 countries. Employing over 140,000 workers at factories around the world, they have become one of Japan's leading multinational companies. Mr. Arakawa was appointed president in 2006. At the time, Bridgestone was already the world's biggest tire maker. But he wasn't satisfied.
The tire industry has been sarcastically described as a cutthroat business in which you're always looking over your shoulder. Competition has always been fierce, with companies aggressively pursuing acquisitions and other strategies just to survive.
Even in the face of such severe circumstances, Bridgestone has been unrelenting in its drive to stay number one. At one time, the tire market was dominated by two manufacturers, Michelin and Goodyear. But in 1988, Bridgestone acquired Firestone in the US and shot to the top of the pack.
It's an industry in which your position can keep falling or you're gobbled up by a rival. In order to survive, you have to be big. You need to be number one. All of my predecessors carried and passed down the mission of becoming number one. And that's how we achieved our position.
Unlike other products, differentiation is extremely difficult with tires. So Mr. Arakawa set his sights on entirely new areas ahead of his competitors. One of those is this massive tire in front of headquarters, measuring 4 meters across. They say these tires sell as fast as they can make them. The tires are used in the mining industry. Amid a global race for resources, demand for huge mining trucks has been on the rise. Bridgestone has a 40% global market share in this field, benefiting from its partnerships with major mining companies. They also manufacture tires for aircraft. Bridgestone was selected as the main supplier for the latest Airbus and Boeing passenger planes. In recent years, the company has started promoting recycling among corporate customers such as trucking and bus companies. A key product is retread tires. They say the cost is 30% lower than buying brand new tires.
It's a simple fact that bus and truck companies don't really want to buy new tires. They want to reduce costs as much as possible, while also knowing that their tires are safe. That's why we started offering new tires as well as retread tires. We're taking a new approach of meeting the demands of our customers. This is our strategy. It's something our rivals simply cannot copy.
The company also realizes that tire sales alone won't drive revenues.
We end up having to compete on price. Even if we develop advanced technology and offer it to our customers, they won't recognize the value at that point. They'll only realize the difference after several years, once the tires have become worn out. But by that time, it's too late. The game is over. Customers have already moved on to inexpensive tires made by our competitors. Tires are all seen as the same, as long as they're black and round. We felt we had to break out of this situation. So we focused on developing a business model to get our customers to recognize the value of our products right away.
To communicate the value of their tires to customers, one of the areas Mr. Arakawa has focused on is a Japanese style of customer service. Bridgestone operates a nationwide network of 500 retail outlets called Taiyakan. In addition to selling tires, they'll check on the condition of your car and provide advice on maintenance. Customers can watch the mechanics do their work as they have some coffee. This branch has incorporated the opinions of customers to improve their after-sales services. No detail is overlooked, including bending down to talk with customers.
ここはですね、6年前から、今日はオイル交換とあとちょっとタイヤのもしかしたらパンクしてるかもしれないのでそれを見ていただきに、こういうタイヤ館さんっていろんなところにあるとこなのでやっぱりちゃんと教育されてるような感じがするので。
By offering a distinctly Japanese style of hospitality, they've been able to differentiate themselves from competitors. Bridgestone retail outlets can now be found throughout the world. Initiatives undertaken by Mr. Arakawa since he became president have allowed the company to widen its lead over rivals.
We became number one in the world both in name and substance. We don't have a teacher to guide us forward now, so all we can do is to continue doing new things. It's all about basic research.
More recently, Bridgestone has started focusing on environment-related R&D. On a company farm, they grow their own rubber. This is a type of rubber plant called guayuli, which can be grown in dry climates. Research has been carried out to use such natural materials in the production of ecologically friendly tires. And this September, they announced a product that doesn't use any exhaustible resource such as petroleum.
これらについては2020年で商業化ということを目標に行っています。バイオ素材というとみんな高いんじゃないかというふうに考えてしまいますけど、コスト競争力も我々としては十分にあるという算段のもとにやっています。だからあくまでこれはワンオブタイヤを作る宣伝のためではなくて、本当の意味でこれらに依存していく時代が来るんじゃないかというふうに我々は言っています。
Such research is being carried out at facilities around the world. One particular phrase unites the researchers in their efforts. After our interview, Mr. Arakawa showed us a card. This is Bridgestone's corporate philosophy. Seijitsu Kyocho, meaning sincerity and cooperation in Japanese.
We can't unify our global operations, a company this big, without a slogan. We discussed what language to use. I wanted to come up with something in English. English is more straightforward. But it ended up being in Japanese. The reason is, our employees overseas said they felt something rooted in the Japanese language and culture would be better suited for us, rather than a direct, straightforward slogan in English.
Under a Japanese style of management, Bridgestone has been able to unify its employees worldwide. The Japanese slogan is a fixture in every office. This slightly unique approach to global leadership may be giving the company the traction to stay at the top.
Thank you so much.
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Changing emissions from copper refineries into fertilizer. That is where Sumitomo Chemical got its start. For 100 years, we've been delivering the power of chemistry around the world. And we will continue to help make the world a better place for the next 100 years and more.
As the future evolves, Toyota is envisioning a more interconnected life where information and energy flow seamlessly throughout the globe. The road ahead will require diverse and eco-friendly mobility solutions. It is on this path that our small choices lead to big changes. Life. Connected. Toyota.
Hey, look at this. They're building a huge steel plant with Kobelco technology.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. They can make iron with incredible speed. What once took 8 hours can be done in just 10 minutes.
Wow, the Japanese are incredible. The country of karate.
Ha! 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 Karate has nothing to do with it.
True.
The talk of the world. Kobelco. habitat for many species threatened by extinction, it also protects local communities from cyclones and mudslides. By protecting nature, we help protect a way of life.
Panasonic is active in tree planting and many other environmental initiatives worldwide. Panasonic, ideas for life.
Just a map and a heart full of courage. Our founders started out with little, but they dared to dream big. Today our reach is global and our resources extensive, but we still have our eyes on the horizon. With courage, reaching out to the world. Mitsui & Company.
Asia, the engine of the global economy. Japan, a regional powerhouse. And now, direct from Japan, economic news with a global impact in Chinese and English, delivered by Nikkei. Read the future, lead the economy. Nikkei, Japan's leading media for business.
You're watching Channel Japan. Next, we'll bring you an episode from popular documentary program. Today, it's from Japanese Dream by TBS. So, Ota-san, what's the topic today?
First, let me show you something. What do you think this is?
Hey, let me see. It has many propellers, so maybe like a big fan or maybe flying object.
This is actually a robotic helicopter with artificial intelligence. The biggest feature is that there's no need for human pilot. It can think on its own and fly to a designated location.
So you mean that there's no need for someone to take control?
That's right. But what exactly it is used for, take a look.
In Fukushima, decontamination work is continuing in evacuation zones following the nuclear disaster last year. An object appears in the sky. What can it be? It's actually a small helicopter with 6 propellers. Its mission is to safely and quickly take radiation readings. To accomplish that, it has a special ability. The helicopter isn't being remotely controlled by anybody. So how can it fly? The developer is Chiba University engineering professor Kenzo Nonami. The secret is something called autonomous control. Professor Nonami has been researching a technology to give machines the ability to think. But the sheer complexity of such a technology has made development a massive challenge. The professor is driven by a firm belief.
I want to do something to help people. Science is for society.
We follow an engineer as he passionately pursues a dream of building a better society.
I have a dream.
Chiba University's engineering department is renowned for its helicopter research. Summer vacation doesn't stop these students from their research. On this day, an experiment is about to be carried out. They've developed a small camera-equipped helicopter. It will fly automatically without remote control and make video recordings at its destinations. After taking off, it will head toward the gymnasium and record a person waving. It will change direction and capture activity on the field. Then it should return to the same place it took off from. Will it succeed? The helicopter rapidly rises to a height of 30 meters. Heading to the gymnasium, it takes the shortest route. It captures the person waving. Then towards the field. It records while hovering. Without any human input or help, it automatically completes its mission and returns to the starting point. A praiseworthy feat. This thinking helicopter is the brainchild of Professor Kenzo Nonami.
There aren't many helicopters in the world that can do this.
The helicopter is equipped with sensors that detect balance and direction, as well as wind and air pressure. With GPS, it flies towards its destination while thinking about the best route. There's no need for a human pilot. Professor Nonami is an authority in the field of autonomous control. He says there's something he won't sacrifice in his research.
There's a tendency to do research that'll financially benefit corporations. But that's not what science is about. True science is about developing social technologies that will benefit society.
Born in 1949, Professor Nonami is a baby boomer. In college, he was involved in student activism and later turned to research. But he didn't feel passionate about his work. Then one day, he read a book that opened his eyes. It was a memoir written by a Nobel Prize-winning researcher about the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA.
A person doing research to transform the world was from the same generation. I felt I had to do something too. It was a spine-tingling realization.
The professor threw himself into his research, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity arrived.
It was a classic shuttle launch.
NASA in the United States was recruiting researchers to develop space shuttle engines. The professor passed rigorous testing and became a NASA employee. There he confronted the harsh reality of becoming a true engineer. One day, as he was about to enter the laboratory to evaluate the engine data, his boss called him over. He said, "Nonami, your job isn't to evaluate existing data. It's to create something that doesn't exist, something new."
He told me that I was recruited to do creative work and that I should stop going to the laboratory all the time. He kept telling me to think. We were required to constantly think about how to develop original ideas.
What exactly is research overflowing with originality? The professor's answer was to master his research theme of autonomous control.
The most difficult thing to control was said to be helicopters. I was determined to succeed.
The professor continued with his work. Then one day he received a request, asking if his helicopter could be used to monitor radiation levels in the decontaminated areas of Fukushima. By using Professor Nonami's unmanned low-flying helicopter, it would be possible to safely and efficiently carry out the task. Work to install radiation monitoring devices onto the helicopter continued over several nights. Kawamatamachi, Fukushima Prefecture. Designated an evacuation zone, mounds of contaminated soil that have been removed are found throughout the town. Professor Nonami heads to the elementary school. There are no children playing on the school grounds. In their place are tall heaps of dirt.
There are still close to 100,000 people who have evacuated elsewhere. Thinking about them breaks my heart. What I want to do is to use our science and technology to help the people of this area.
Genkatsu Sugano used to work in agriculture in the town, but now lives in an evacuation facility. As work to confirm the safety of decontaminated areas takes on a new urgency, the professor hopes his research can play a part. His helicopter is now equipped with the radiation monitoring devices. But will it be able to maintain autonomous control? First, he uses a remote controller to check if the autonomous controls are functioning properly. Immediately after takeoff, it crashes into the ground. Flying at low altitudes is considered extremely difficult, causing the controls to go haywire. He makes some adjustments and tries again. This time it floats to the eye level of a child and flies toward the school grounds to take measurements. If they can arrange for several aircraft with autonomous control to fly at once, it would be possible to safely monitor a wide area. Now the helicopter will be flown by autonomous control, which the professor has poured his heart and soul into. Will it be able to fly automatically without problem while carrying the radiation measurement equipment? It takes off and immediately rises 10 meters above the ground. Without being remotely controlled, it flies automatically and stably. The nights spent modifying the aircraft have paid off. It flies perfectly within a pre-programmed 10 square meter area. Eventually, it returns to the takeoff point without once losing its bearings. Mr. Sugano also watches the experiment.
まず一番最初に思ったのは素晴らしさ。要はパソコン一つで自由に操作できる。我々は早く帰りたいっていうこともあるし、あともう一つは早く安全を欲しいっていう。まあその安全のためにもこのモニタリング。
It's heartening to hear his words. I'm really moved. For the people of Fukushima to return home as soon as possible, the most important task is to prove that it's safe. Right now, we don't even know if radiation levels are high or low. It would be wonderful if this robotic helicopter can be used to take measurements.
Science for Society. Professor Nonami's dream is about to take flight.
He has also developed other robots with artificial intelligence, hasn't he?
That's right. Let me show you some of them. First, this. This is a 6-legged robot.
Wow,
it
looks
used
complicated.
artificial intelligence to move around and avoid obstacle, and it could be used to work in a hazardous environment. It could be used at the disaster site where it's too dangerous to send people in.
I see it will be helpful after natural disasters such as typhoon or flooding.
Exactly. And this is a robotic boat. It also has built-in artificial intelligence. For example, it can survey the sea floor and find out what's at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, so many new technology. I wonder what he will come up with next. After the break, we'll be turning to stem cell research that's at the center of attention right now.
The Norin Chukin Bank has a mission to fulfill. We are committed to the advancement of agriculture, fisheries, and forestry in Japan. Backing the network of our people and communities to help and support one another is a source of pride for us. This is our style of banking. We're banking on trusted networks. The Norin Chukin Bank.
For performance without precedent, technology meeting the challenge to be better. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is a leader in aviation technology. Technology that gave birth to the hollow head engine valve with enhanced cooling characteristics. It's a quantum leap for automobile engine. Our technologies, your tomorrow. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries.
How do we build sustainability into our relationship with Mother Earth? That's Kaiteki, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
Suzuki Way of Life. Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green air conditioning systems in Singapore.
Echo changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
We've just added a new power shovel, and it's great.
Really? Who makes it?
Kobelco.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. And let me tell you, its fuel efficiency is incredible.
Oh.
Kobelco's power shovel delivers more while consuming less. Just like my sweetie.
Don't say that.
And powerful too.
The talk of the world, Kobelco.
Time, it's only time. We are in this time. It's just
as life moves ever faster, we're an engine that helps your business accelerate. We're an eye that examines your health. We're a gentle light that guides you home. Wish for something better. Trust us to create it.
Giving shape to ideas, Konica Minolta.
You're watching Channel Japan. In the next segment, we show you an episode from a popular economics program. Today, it's an episode from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite.
Sendai, Miyagi Prefecture. This is a laboratory of Tohoku University. In the clean room here is a small 2.6 kilogram satellite called Raiko, jointly developed by Tohoku University and Wakayama University.
これ魚眼カメラなんですけど、地球の前景ですね、もう地球の一番縁のですね、丸いところまで撮ることができます。
Raiko's mission is to take pictures in space and send them back to Earth. But
僕ら学生が自分たちで行います。こういうここに銅箔をセルとハンダ付けしたり、そういう全ての作業も、僕ら学生がやりました。
ハンダ付けでつけていくものなんですか？
そうですね、はい。
There's a certain handmade quality to the satellite. What's more,
バッテリーはこちらに。
どういうバッテリーなんですか？
単4のエネループ8本を使用しております。
they're store-bought batteries.
面白そうだなと。
そう、いかにそうですね、身近なものでできないかなということですね。
At about $250,000, development costs have been minimized, but its functions are high-tech. Pictures can be sent back to Earth at 10 times the speed of conventional small satellites. The main developers are 3 Tohoku University graduate school students and assistant professor Yuji Sakamoto. The aim?
アジアを含め、今南米とかですね、アフリカとかいろんな国で、宇宙開発したいというニーズはあります。我々は日本のやり方っていうのを世界に広めていかないといけない。
Taking on the mission of sending Raiko into orbit is
宇宙飛行士の星出明彦です。
Mr. Hoshide is about to attempt something unprecedented.
SRB へ転換。
Typically, satellites sent up by rockets are subjected to severe stress when separating from the main craft. In contrast, Raiko will be sent to the space station, where Mr. Hoshide will manually release it into space. Since there is less external stress, they don't need to be as solidly built, which significantly reduces development costs.
今回これは世界でも初めての試みなんですけれども、私の作業、それから筑波にいます地上の管制官の作業と協調して行う予定です。
It's June. The Tohoku University students who built Raiko board a train in Sendai. Their destination?
明日、JAXA へ衛星を納入するので、前日ではい。
This duralumin case contains Raiko. The easy portability is one of the advantages of small satellites. They arrive at the headquarters of JAXA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Waiting for them in the clean room are satellite engineers. They carefully take Raiko out.
緩み止めどうだったんですか？緩み止めは、ただ基板下にナットがあってそれで止めてるだけです。
The engineers check to make sure guidelines have been followed. Will the satellite pass the test?
こっちがプラス Z です。
じゃあこれで授業とさせていただきますので、
はい、よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。
お疲れ様でした。すいません。
ほっとしました。はい。やっぱり最後まで何が起こるかわからないんで。はい。
On this day, JAXA received 5 satellites, including Raiko. They were delivered to the International Space Station this July aboard the Konotori 3 and handed off to Mr. Hoshide.
今まさにここにあるのが小型衛星の入ったカセット。
And in early October,
3, 2, 1, mark.
Mr. Hoshide successfully dispatched Daiko into space. This is a picture taken immediately after. Its next challenge is establishing communications with Earth.
Eh, これをきっかけにですね、新しいインフラができたということで、いろんなビジネスに発展していったらいいなと期待しています。
Moves to actually turn small satellites into a commercial opportunity are gaining steam around the world. An international symposium on small satellites was recently held in Nagoya, attracting 250 researchers from over 40 countries. The main event was a contest to find the best business ideas.
Which is a substitute. So these are also another important topics.
We are proposing a system that basically tracks the vehicle. The altitude is.
One proposal was to use satellites to track a person's car and prevent theft. Such unique ideas were submitted from over 30 countries. The winner was a researcher from South Africa.
And the title of our satellite mission is Underground and Surface Water Detection and Monitoring using a microsatellite.
His idea was to use satellites to find new water sources. He plans to seek investors and set up a company in the near future. But what exactly are the benefits that businesses can bring to this field?
これまでの日本の宇宙開発はどちらかというと科学技術を伸ばしていく、新しい技術を作るということに主眼が置かれてましたけれども、それだけだと国のお金をいつまでも投入しなきゃいけない。やっぱり民間からお金がどんどん宇宙開発に入ってこなきゃいけないわけですよね。だからそういったことを目指すのに敷居を下げる超小型衛星は非常に役に立つと思います。
10 days have passed since Daiko was sent into orbit. Have they been able to establish contact?
まだ横向いてるね。先週ですかね、軌道があまり正確じゃなくって、受信がほとんどできてない状態が続いてたという感じですね。
This facility is used for communications with the satellite, but they only have one chance for contact every hour and a half, and that window is just 8 minutes long.
かなりこれが最大に近い時間、一番天頂まで行きます。これ今衛星はここにいるんですよ。南半球にいます。
南アフリカの先の方に今。
そうですそうです。
They wait until it's directly above Sendai and send a test signal.
DC リセット。もう一回 STX を通ってくれないとおかしいんですけどね。
Since it was released, the satellite has responded just twice, and they still haven't received any images. It may not be in a stable orbit, or there could be a problem with the antenna. They have just a half year before the satellite re-enters the atmosphere and burns up. Will they be able to receive any images until then? Establishing contact will also be crucial for any future sales of their small satellite system in emerging markets.
東南アジアとかでも自前の衛星を持ってないとかですね、ありますんで、そういった機関ではやはりカメラ画像、普通のカメラ画像だけでもありがたいという部分はあるんですよ。今回の衛星の不具合を直して、でもっとアップグレードしたものを今後も作っていきたいというふうに思っています。
The success of such small satellites may signal the start of the next space race.
Ota-san, those satellites have already sent back pictures back to Earth. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yes, the fact that even a graduate school student can build their own satellite and send it to the space. It's amazing. So I feel like the space is getting closer to our lives.
I think so too. I completely agree. Well, our next topic is this. Have a look at this. Well, some of our viewers in Asia may have heard of him recently. He's one of two recipients of this year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. His name is Shinya Yamanaka, a professor of Kyoto University. He was awarded for his research in iPS stem cells.
Let me explain how it works in simple words.
Yes.
Human bodies are made of vast amount of cells. And he found a way to extract the cells out of body and to reprogram, to change the nature, and then to culture, to increase the number of cells. And that can be applied for any part of the body or organs of a human. So this is how it works.
Well, I can see why many medical community are so interested in this field.
That's right. It's believed that the use of iPS cell will revolutionize the medicines. There's actually many business already that are hoping to tap into the demand for iPS cells. Have a look.
This is a dental clinic in Nakano, Tokyo. 9-year-old Kaito Kimura is about to have a baby tooth pulled out for the first time. It's over in an instant. The tooth is put in a narrow liquid-filled container and packed into a box. On it, the words Pulp Cell Bank.
これを歯髄サブバンクさんの方に送って冷凍保存して、必要性が出る時まで、保管していただける。
Pulp cells are nerve cells found inside teeth. They have the function of repairing teeth when a cavity forms. So what exactly are pulp cell banks? Kaito's tooth arrives at the bank. The technician uses tweezers to extract a white material from the tooth. This is dental pulp. It's cleaned and put into a centrifuge. This process is repeated several times until the pulp cells are extracted. This rat has lost the use of its hind legs due to a spinal cord injury. Stem cells from human pulp cells are transplanted into the rat. 7 weeks later, the spinal cord has healed and its hind legs have regained some movement. Pulp cells have been found to be effective in the treatment of strokes and other nerve disorders. This bank cultures pulp cells for cryopreservation. They'll store the cells for 10 years at a cost of about $3,700. The Pulp Cell Bank is run by a company set up by Koichi Otomo 3 years ago.
歯の割る部分、これについてちょっと注意していただいて、取り扱っていただきたいと思います。全国に北海道から沖縄まで約300施設ございまして、3年以内に2000施設の歯科ネットワークに拡大してまいる予定です。
So far, about 400 people have applied to preserve their cells.
子供に何かあった時にその細胞で治せればというふうにはすごく思います。
自分のそのね抜いた歯でね治せるかもしれないって聞いたらどうかな。ちょっと嬉しい。
Pulp cells have also been found to be particularly suited for another area of medicine. We visited Professor Kenichi Tezuka, who researches dental pulp cells at Gifu University.
歯髄細胞、特に若い人から取った歯髄細胞の方がiPS になる効率が高い傾向があります。
Induced pluripotent stem cells are highly versatile and can be cultured into cells of any part of the human body. In other words, they have been reprogrammed. Through his research, the professor discovered that iPS cells can be efficiently cultured from dental pulp cells.
脊髄細胞がより未分化な状態、あるいはリプログラミングされやすい、遺伝子発現パターンを持っていて、スムーズにiPS の状態に落ち着くと。
Dental pulp cells are less developed than skin and other cells and are believed to be easier to reprogram. The future envisioned by such research is sometime in the 21st century. iPS cells have become standard medical treatment. A man is working in the office. He looks healthy. But one day, the doctors find he has dilated cardiomyopathy, a serious condition that may require a heart transplant.
In the worst case, you may need a transplant. Have you had your cells preserved?
I put some in the bank when I was 9 years old. Fortunately, this man had his dental pulp cells converted to iPS cells and preserved. The hospital orders some from the bank. Everything is meticulously managed, so there's no need to worry about a mix-up. New heart cells are manufactured with his preserved iPS cells and transplanted. His heart is regenerated without the need to find or wait for a transplant donor. This is the kind of future that may be possible with iPS cells. Numerous companies in Japan are working to commercialize iPS cell technology. Inside this laboratory,
バイオステーション CT というものをご紹介させていただきます。細胞の状態を評価する画像解析ソフトウェアというのを開発しています。
The company is applying its existing technology to develop software that can automatically determine the quality of iPS cells. The black dots are iPS cells. Using the software, the good cells are indicated in yellow and the poor cells in pink, based on past data.
こういうふうに iPS の iPS を見分けるそのレシピというものは、ここ 1,2 年ぐらいで、提供することを考えています。
Takara Bio, based in Shiga Prefecture, is originally a health foods maker. Inside this laboratory, they're manufacturing iPS cells. They say over 80% of sales are from genetics-related products, such as reagents and equipment required by research institutions. This is a reagent to determine if multifunctional cells, such as iPS cells, have become differentiated. It is used to check if iPS cells have developed into those of the skin, heart, or other organs. Results that used to take days are now ready in 2 to 3 hours.
日本の科学技術予算っていうのが、iPS 細胞の関連だけでも数千億円というふうに言われてますけれども、そういった部分が多分拡充されていくというふうなことを考えれば広がりってのは必ずだと思いますので、そういう意味ではビジネスとしては非常に大きくなると。
Driven by the hopes of both business and patients, the day when we all put away some cells for safekeeping may not be that far away.
Well, what area do you think will be the first to use this iPS cell?
There's something called age-related macular degeneration, where a person's vision starts to weaken because of age. A part of the retina stops working, and you can lose your eyesight. With iPS cells,
Yes.
It would be possible to grow retinal cells and transplant it to restore your eyesight. Clinical studies are scheduled to begin next year.
That's wonderful. Well, it will be wonderful for people who have impaired eyesight to be able to regain their vision.
Yes, but there is also a possibility that iPS cells could become cancerous after being transplanted, or that they are rejected by the body. That's why research is being carried out to minimize those risks.
Those researches are very important as well. But I'm so impressed to seeing Mr. Yamanaka speak in news conferences, because he always says that he wants to help people.
That's right. The Professor Yamanaka has already obtained a patent for his iPS cells technology. Typically, this is done to have the patent is to be able to monopolize a particular field. But Professor Yamanaka says that the reason he obtained a patent was so that the technology can be used by anyone at low cost.
I think Professor Yamanaka's research is giving many people the reason to hope and dream. Well, that's it for this edition of Channel Japan. I hope you enjoyed the program. We have much more in store for you next week, so don't forget to tune in.
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
How do we build sustainability into our relationship with Mother Earth? That's Kaiteki, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
Hát úgy, hogy egy távirányítóval át lehet varázsolni nagy autóvá az autós táskát.
สร้างรถขึ้นมาเพื่อดูดอากาศเสียปล่อยเป็นควันธรรมชาติ
My parents work at a really great company, which makes cool computers and LCD TVs. Not only that, they build elevators for skyscrapers and zooming fast bullet trains. My mom designs the company's CT scan systems, which spot diseases. My dad develops power generation systems so people will have plenty of electricity. The company where my parents work is Toshiba.
Has anybody finished doing their pictures?
I have.
All around the world, Toshiba technology is hard at work, bringing smarter, faster, more sustainable development to life.
When I grow up, I want to work for people.
For a growing future, Toshiba.
Enjoy traveling around East Japan. The Shinkansen will take you to the land of nature and hospitality. East Japan Railway Company. Channel Japan.